You are not the same person you were 7 years ago. Think about who you were 7 years ago. The things you believed with absolute certainty, the people you thought would always be there, the version of yourself you were either proud of or ashamed of, the fears that controlled you, the dreams you had not yet given up on. Now look at who you are today. Something changed, something fundamental, and it was not just time passing. Here is what science actually says. Almost every cell in your body has been replaced since 7 years ago. Your skin renews itself every month. Your red blood cells are replaced every 4 months. Your bones rebuild themselves over the course of a decade. Even your liver, your lungs, your muscles, constantly replacing old cells with new ones. The atoms that make up your body right now are almost entirely different atoms from the ones that made up your body 7 years ago. You absorbed them from food, from water, from air. The matter that is you today was somewhere else entirely 7 years ago. You are not the same physical object. You are a pattern, a continuous process that has been rebuilding itself without stopping for your entire life. But the body is only part of the story. Your brain rewired itself. Every experience you had in the last 7 years carved new pathways through your neural tissue. Every skill you learned built new connections. Every trauma, every joy, every person you loved, every failure you survived, each one physically changed the structure of your brain. The technical term is neuroplasticity, but what it really means is this: you are not the same thinker you were 7 years ago. The neural map of your mind, the actual physical architecture of how you process the world is different, not slightly different, profoundly different. The things that were hard for you then may come naturally now. The things that frightened you then may no longer register as threats. The things that excited you then may feel hollow now, not because you became numb, because you became different. Your beliefs changed too, even the ones you think have stayed the same. 7 years ago you held a particular picture of how the world worked, what was fair and unfair, what was possible and impossible, what kind of person you were and what kind of person you could become. Some of those beliefs were expanded by what you lived through, some were shattered completely, some were quietly replaced by something more complicated and more true. The version of you from 7 years ago held opinions with confidence that the current version of you would argue with, has argued with, has grown past. This is not a failure of your past self, it is the whole point of living. The people around you changed you too. Think about who was in your life 7 years ago, who you spent your time with, whose voice you heard most, whose approval you were seeking, whose absence would have broken you. Some of those people are still here, and the relationship is deeper for having survived the years. Some of those people are gone through choice, through distance, through death, through the slow drift of becoming different people who no longer fit the same space. And some of the people who matter most to you now were not even in your life 7 years ago. They arrived later, and they brought things with them, perspectives, challenges, ways of seeing that changed who you are in ways you may not even be fully aware of yet. You are, in part, built from every person who has ever spent significant time with you. There is an ancient philosophical puzzle called the Ship of Theseus. The ship belongs to a hero. Over the years, as planks rot and break, they are replaced one by one. Eventually, every single plank of the original ship has been replaced. Is it still the same ship? You are the Ship of Theseus. Every cell replaced, every belief tested and updated, every relationship that shaped you, every version of yourself that you outgrew and left behind like a shed skin. Are you the same person you were 7 years ago? The matter says no, the memories say yes. The truth is somewhere in between. You are a continuous thread of experience running through a body and mind that have been almost entirely rebuilt. The pain you carried 7 years ago changed you too. Something happened, maybe something that broke you in ways you did not fully understand at the time, a loss, a betrayal, a failure so significant it rewrote what you thought was possible. At the time it felt like destruction. In retrospect, and this takes time, sometimes years, it was more like excavation. The breaking away of things that were not actually you, revealing something underneath that was more solid and more true. The person you are now is partly built from those cracks, stronger in those places precisely because they were tested. The Japanese call this kintsugi, the art of repairing broken things with gold. The cracks do not diminish the object, they become part of its history, part of its beauty. Now look forward. 7 years from now, who will you be? If the pattern holds, and it will, you will be significantly different from who you are today. Your cells will have turned over again. Your brain will have rewired around whatever experiences are coming that you cannot yet imagine. Your beliefs will have been tested by things you have not yet faced. People will have entered your life who do not yet exist in it. The question is not whether you will change. The question is whether you will change by accident or by intention. Because here is what the science of neuroplasticity actually means for your daily life. The brain does not just change passively. It changes in response to what you repeatedly give it. What you practice becomes easier. What you avoid becomes harder. What you feed your attention to literally grows stronger. The person you are in 7 years is being built right now by what you choose to read, by who you choose to spend time with, by what you choose to practice and what you choose to neglect, by what you tell yourself about who you are and what is possible. You are not a finished product, you are a process, and the process is happening right now whether you are directing it or not. Before we end, one more thing. Be gentle with the person you were 7 years ago. They were doing the best they could with what they knew and what they had. They made decisions that seem obvious now, obviously wrong, obviously limited, obviously coming from fear or ignorance or pain, but were not obvious then. They could not see what you can see now. They did not have what you have now. The past version of you was not a failure. They were a foundation. Every difficult thing they survived, every mistake they made and learned from, every version of themselves they outgrew, all of it brought you here, to this moment, to this understanding. You are not the same person you were 7 years ago. And exactly that, is the most hopeful thing in the world.